Bam! Welcome back to another video. Man, it's been a really long time since I've shot anything new. I know the last two videos I shot were actually from clips from ages and ages ago, and this might actually be the first clip I'm shooting this year, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, this video, as the title says, I'm replacing the cam covers on my Mark II. And basically, it's going to be a short one. It's mostly going to be informative, so if you already know how to do this, the video may not be of interest to you. But I've never done it, so I'll take you guys along for the ride. And maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't, I'm actually shooting on a new camera. So I bought that earlier this year, and hopefully it's better quality. But one thing you might notice is this one doesn't have image stabilization, so if the footage is a bit shaky, I apologize. I'm still getting used to trying to hold the camera steady. I know previously I like to move around a lot, but anyway, yeah, if you want details of what camera and lens this is, I'll leave it down in the comments below. Okay, so basically, to explain the issue, when I bought the car there was a small oil leak in the cam covers, the exhaust cam cover. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit there. So on that bolt there, there was oil coming out, which is common. A common place to leak is over this cam hump underneath the cam cover. So I actually got my mechanic to replace the seals because he was doing a major service anyway. But unfortunately, what I think has happened is they haven't checked the torque specs on these cam covers, and they've just cranked them down. And unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it, but basically right in here on that tab, it's cracked and it's leaking a lot of oil, which you can see down in there. Maybe if it focuses, there's a pool of oil on top of the intake manifold. So I've been dealing with that leak for a long time. Unfortunately, it's dripped down everywhere. It's now running down onto the gearbox, so it's a real mess. So I'm now going to replace the cam covers and hopefully fix the oil leak. Okay, so to bring you over here to where I've got the parts, two new cam covers. I know only one's broken, but I thought I may as well do them both at the same time because sure enough, I'm betting the other one will crack at some point. So these are OEM parts, which is good, and got new seals and new washers, and then I've also got some Permatex RTV. This is the Ultra Black, which is supposed to be extra oil resistant, but I'm pretty sure you can use Ultra Black, Ultra Grey, any of the Ultras I think are okay to use here. It doesn't experience any force in this, so it just has to seal. And this is to seal up those cam humps that I was talking about before. Okay, so basically the plan is remove everything, install the new parts, and then I'll spend a bit of time cleaning up the oil that's there. So I'll set up the camera and walk you through the process, hopefully. Apologies for the angle, this lens is at widest than 18mm, so it's a little close. But anyway, the process is remove the cam gear cover, then remove the spark plug cover, then remove all the spark plugs and coils, and then remove all the connections, and then hopefully we can just go zip 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 and take the cam covers off. Okay, so I've got the cam cover off and the spark plug cover off, so I will need to basically take these coils out. I think the spark plugs can probably stay in, I don't think they need to come out, and then I can get to work just taking out the bolts, disconnecting some of the hoses, and the cam covers should come hopefully right off. Okay, and that is the problem right there. It wasn't just a crack, it was completely broken off. So anyway, that's the intake cam cover off. So time to take the exhaust cam cover off, and then once that's off, I might actually clean up a bit in here because it's pretty gunky in there. I've also got pretty good access to clean up that pool of oil, so I'll clean up on the top of the intake runners there, and then hopefully we can put the new ones on. So I can see already that at some point a previous owner has put a little bit of sealant or gasket maker on the back there, which is what I'm going to redo. And again, on either side of the cam hump here, there's also sealant. Okay, so I've got both the cam covers off, and basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spend a bit of time just cleaning up around here whilst I've got access to it. I probably won't show that because it's kind of boring for you. You guys don't need to see that. One thing I also need to do is scrape off the RTV at the humps and at the end of the cams there, and then I can get ready to put it all back on. Okay, so first problem. I've got the intake, the old intake cam cover here, and this little PCV valve grommet, it's not coming out. It's not only is it hard and brittle and it's likely to break, I think I just physically can't pull that out of there. And I don't have a new one. So basically, the plan is I've got my dad's got some rubber hose up in the shed which we might be able to make work until I buy one. Or I can make a trip down to Repco sell grommets, not exactly for a 1J, but they might work. So a couple of options, otherwise I may have to come back another day once I've got the grommet ordered and delivered. Okay, so I've got a bit of a ghetto solution. Basically, I found a bit of rubber strip, wrapped around and jammed it in there. It's not properly sealed, but it should hold enough for the car to drive, at least for me to drive around a little bit whilst I wait for the grommet to arrive, which hopefully should be in the next few days. Basically, all it means is there may be some blow-by-air venting into the engine bay. It may have some oil in it. Not the end of the world, but not great either. But it should be okay to just the odd trips here and there. So the next step is putting the gaskets actually in. I don't know if they're different or if they're the same. Okay, so now it's basically put everything back in the way it came out. I do want to put some RTV just in the corners and a little bit up the back as well. So now basically the plan is to jack the car up, take the tray off and just clean everywhere, because the oil has run down, because it's come from the top of the engine, it's dribbled down and it's dribbled everywhere. So clean all that up and then it should be good. Okay, so the cam covers are on, installed. All the bolts are torqued down to spec, which is 6 Newton meters, so barely hand tight. Got all the plugs and coils back in, so it's now just put the cover, the spark plug cover over the top, and that should be done. You can see here the kind of ghetto fix we've done temporarily is just a strip of rubber that we've wrapped around it and jammed it in there. I will order a grommet, but until that arrives, that'll have to do for now. Okay, so it's actually a new day. The little PCV valve grommet has arrived finally. I bought this from OEM for JDM. I buy a lot of things from them. He's pretty good. Has a lot of different parts for JZs, so definitely check him out if you need some OEM stuff. You can apparently get a similar grommet from like a local auto store, which I did check out, but it was like $30 versus $5, so wasn't going to spend $30 on a little rubber valve, so I waited and just put up with the ghetto solution. So I'm going to chuck this in, and that's basically the last part of this video. I will probably give the engine one last clean of oil, because there is still a little bit of residue left, but then that's pretty much the install done. So I'm going to chuck this in and let's go. Okay, so getting to it, nothing fancy here. I just have to be a little careful because the engine is hot. I've just finished driving. It's literally just pull this off. Is this hot? No, that's hot. If the grommet just presses in. Okay, so I've now got the car jacked up. I've got some plastic tubing underneath just to stop all the oil going on the concrete. Got my cans of degreaser and some rags, and I'm going to try and clean this up as best as possible. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of oil that I just can't reach because it's been leaking through here, which means all down behind the pulleys. I probably can't really reach, but I'll give my best shot and hopefully get most of the oil, at least so no more drips out from underneath when it's just sitting there parked. Otherwise, that basically takes us to the end of the video. Not really anything else to show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For those who wanted to learn a little bit more about how to replace the cam covers. And I'll see you guys on the next one.